Hey guys, welcome to Girls Frontline 2. We do have Sumi here, one of the best, if not the best support character that we have. She has shield, she has healing, she has debuffs, she has buffs, name it, she has it. So far, this girl doesn't have any drawbacks to her kit, and we'll see why. Okay, starting off with her skills, we have her pelting snowflake here. This is gonna be physical damage equal to 80% of attack to them. So a nice chunky attack for her basic attack as well. Next is going to be her Winter's Wrath. So this is an active targeted skill. Selects one enemy within 6 tiles, dealing freeze damage to 100% of attack to them. The skill's critical rate is reduced to 100%, but additionally deals fixed damage equal to 50% of defense. So that is a trade-off in case you actually didn't notice. For each allied unit within 6 tiles, increases stability damage dealt by 1 point. If the target enters stability break after the skill is used, recovers points of stability. So take note, if she is closer to teammates, definitely more stability damage for this skill. Okay, third one is going to be Snow's Grace. So this one is an active buff. Select one allied target excluding self. Within 6 tiles, apply Frost Barrier for 2 turns. Then Frost Barrier absorption amount equal to 130% of Sumi's initial attack, but cannot exceed 100% of target's max HP. Restores 2 stability index for each enemy unit within 5 tiles of selected target. Apply 1 stack of defense support for 2 turns. If the target's HP is below 80, gain 1 point of Convectance Index. Basically, the bottom line for this skill is if you really need this skill, you can use it. But if you don't need it, if you don't need to put a barrier on one of your allies, definitely don't use this, because I'll tell you in a bit. Okay, so this is the ultimate. This is the reason why you don't use the previous skill, which is Snow's Grace. You use the ultimate, Snowfield's Radiance. It's an ultimate, healing, and it's tile. So selects one empty tile within 6 tiles, dealing fixed damage equal to 50% of defense to all enemy targets within 3 tiles, applying 3 stacks of Avalanche. And also restores HP equal to 30% of Sumi's max HP. So take note that this scales up her, this skill scales with her max HP. Make sure that you give her a lot of health, so that her health can scale in terms of the HP that she can actually provide. Okay, so 6 points of stability, cleanses 1 debuff, and cleanses the effect of taunt from all allied units. Additionally, applies Frost Barrier 1 stack of Windtree Bastion for 3 turns. Frost Barrier absorbs damage to equal to 100% of Sumi's initial attack, up to 100% of the target's max HP. Take note as well that the 30% here, the restoration, is because I have her at V1, which means I have a copy of her. Later in our Fortification, we'll be talking about it. If you don't have a copy of her, let's say you're at V0, this is going to be lower. I think half of it, I'm not sure, but at copy 1, you will get her restore at 30% of Sumi's max HP. So again, take note of that, guys. The last one is going to be her passive. So it's a passive healing support. At the end of the action, gains 2 points of Convectance Index. Convectance Index, if you don't know, it's actually the energy you need to use to use skills. Restores 5% of Sumi's max HP to the other allied units within 6 tiles. If the target's max HP is below 50, increases the amount restored to 10% when allied units excluding Sumi use basic attack or skills. Sumi applies 1 stack of avalanche to a random enemy target within 6 tiles of herself. Okay, when an enemy unit within range takes damage from an ally, prioritize using actual support ones, dealing physical damage, and also apply critical damage up to allied units using action support, dealing damage equal to 80% of attack and 3 stability. Apply critical damage up to allied units for 2 turns. This can be triggered twice per turn. When HP is above 80%, gains Steel Drift Spirit. Okay, this skill has a lot packed, even for a passive. So take note, her kit is going to be a mix of damage, buffs, support, shields, heals, you name it. She actually has all of those. So with that said, those are her skills. This is definitely Sumi's gun of choice. So this is Unspoken Calling, light ammo, SMG. So as for the abilities of this gun, so freeze damage dealt by all allied units is increased by 10%. Definitely gonna be helping you if you're building a freeze team. The value of applied shield is increased by 10% as well, which is provided or enhanced by the gun if the user's stability index is greater than 0 before using the ultimate skill. The value of applied shield is increased by another 10%. So take note, if her user, meaning Sumi, has a stability index greater than 0, 1 and 2 perhaps or greater, then the shield buff is enhanced by 20%. Okay, so a second choice of Sumi would be Classified Manuscript. So special effects of this gun, also a light ammo SMG. Battle Rush, for every one tile moved, ignores 5% of target's defense up to 25%. If movement exceeds 5 tiles, cleanses 1 random buff from target before attacking. If this unit has moved 5 tiles or more, gain movement up to for 1 turn at the start of the next action. Definitely a different gun versus her own gun, but this is gained more towards movement and to moving more tiles, whether in different directions that she is going to go to. Okay, so this is Sumi's third choice. You have light ammo SMG, which is called the Sumi as well. As for its abilities, increase the effect of applying shield by 5%. So it is a small buff, but it's definitely a buff for the shield. So it's only 5% versus her gun, her original gun or her chosen gun, which is 20%. When applying buffs to allies, excluding self, increase healing effect by 5% as well for 2 turns. So this gun is an all-around gun. Definitely a good choice if you don't have both of the previous guns. For Sumi's Fortification, we start with S1. So increase the number of stacks of avalanche by 1. But this is called Snowfield's Radiance. Recovers HP equal to 30% of Sumi's max HP and restores stability index by 4 points to allied units. Take note that if you've seen the skill that I featured a while ago in terms of her ultimate, it was already at 30% because I have V1 or S1 for her Fortification. And also guys, all allied units gain excluding self, gain additional 1 stack of Wintry Bastions to reduce damage taken by 30%, which is honestly is crazy. If the allied unit is at full HP before being healed, they gain an additional 1 stack of Shelter and continuous heal for 3 seconds. V1 guys is a must. If you do have her at V0, please make sure that you at least get 1 copy of her. Moving on to V2. V2 is a nice add-on with the Frost Barrier increase here, but applying Warding Light is going to be only effective if you have majority of your team using freeze damage or a freeze team. So definitely it's good but not a must. For V3, applying impact response as well for V3 and defensive support, again good but not a must. At segment 4 or V4, If it causes stability break, increases fixed damage to 125% defense. Again, a very good ability. As we move on to segment 5, which I think is one of I think the musts. If V1 is a must, make sure that if you want to invest in Sumi, take her to V5, because the additional effect of warding light, this is also still for, you know, freeze damage for your allies. But if the frost barrier is not broken, inflict 1 point of stability damage to the attacker. Take note of that. Support actions now trigger an additional 1 time per turn, recovers 1 point of stability index for other allied units within 4 tiles around the user. Again, a lot of add-ons at segment 5. At segment 6, we do have another bump, which if there's only one character that you will be investing now, I would suggest you invest all in Sumi if you have the means. I'm not saying you invest all of your pulls in her, but more or less at least get segment 1 or V1. Applies defensive up to all allied units for 3 turns. This is segment 6 already. Increase the number of cleanse debuffs by 2, and another cleanse the effects of fear if infatuated and stunned. Increase restored HP by 50%. From 30, you go to 60. And Sumi's max HP. Expand the radius of frost by 1 tile. And the effect of shield is enhanced by 30%, up to a maximum of 150 of the target's HP. Again, her kit is so sick that even at V1, it's already a value. But if you reach 5 and 6, definitely she's going to be god tier at this point. As for her neural helix, we do have your 3 keys that is most important to her kit. We're going to start off with this key. So logistics support in progress at the end of this unit's action. If this unit's stability is greater than 0, recovers 10% of this unit's maximum HP and 1 point of stability. Take note that this one only applies to Sumi herself. The other 2 priority keys is Unyielding Momentum. This one is after the active skill Winter's Wrath. If the target is in stability break, restores 2 points of the unit's stability. And the last one of the 3 is going to be Little Guardian. At the start of the battle, gains 3 Confectance Index. So those are your 3 priorities when you're equipping them in your key regulation. Take note again that there are only 3 that you can equip. That is why we picked the best 3. On the right side, this is going to be common keys that you can equip to any of your dolls. Also, if you have unlocked all of your 6 keys, you will be unlocking the common key as well. So Mission Blessing, defense boost 5%. When HP drops to below 80%, restores 15% of this unit's maximum HP, and game defense up for 2 turns. Can trigger only once per battle. So take note, this only applies to Sumi herself. Okay, so as for my overall thoughts of Sumi, again, there's nothing negative about her kit. Everything is just ridiculously good or even awesome. So, with that said, what team do you think will go with her? Any of your characters or your dolls would go or would work good with her. She doesn't have any restrictions in terms of which of your dolls she will work best or she will not work with. But definitely every doll or any team that you have is going to be fine or is going to be well protected when you have her. The plus when working with Sumi is going to be a freeze team. Definitely freeze damage is going to benefit from, or freeze dolls are going to benefit from her kit. So if you want to build a freeze team, definitely look forward to my next build guide, which is going to be Lotta. So Lotta is actually freeze and more or less will be a good, freeze team addition to Sumi herself. So that is it, guys. What do you think of this build guide? And more or less, are you using Sumi? Do you have a copy of her? How many copies do you have? So please, again, comment down in the comment section. What do you think of her and how you're building her, and if more or less you find this video informative. So again, guys, thank you very much for staying this far. Take care, stay safe. This is the Warden, and I'm out of here.